GPO Federal Credit Union. Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And welcome back, everybody, on this Thursday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking abundant sunshine to close out the work week and much lower levels of humidity. That's thanks to high pressure moving in and a cold front moving out. So let's get right to that camera in downtown Utica right now, where it is currently 78 degrees, dew point 69. That dew point has actually dropped a little bit thanks to a westerly wind at 13 miles an hour. Again, if we can take a look at that downtown Utica camera or take the graphics whenever possible, it still feels like 80 degrees though at this time. So guess we're just going to keep going like this. Other numbers from around the region, we've got temperatures in the 70s to right around 80 degrees. Utica's at 78, Herkimer is at 80, and we've got Old Forge up to the north at 71. Temperatures are much cooler at this time tonight than they were yesterday. There we go. We've got numbers as cool as 12 degrees cooler than they were at this time yesterday in areas like Boonville. The 24-hour temperature change isn't as dramatic down toward the south, though, but you get the idea. It's still much cooler, and in spite of that, it's still very humid out there, although these dew points, as I just mentioned, were up into the 70s earlier. Now they're down into the 60s, and eventually we'll get into where Syracuse is and get into the low 60s and upper 50s as we head through the overnight hours in terms of the dew point values. Heat index values, as I mentioned, still a couple of degrees warmer than the actual air temperatures, with areas up toward the north and east into the 70s right now. We've had some rain-cooled air, the rest of us down into the 80s still, but those heat index values will be basically washed away as we head through the day tomorrow especially. So you can see we've got some rain over most of Herkimer, portions of Hamilton County right now, into Otsego County also, and that's continuing to move off toward the east. So the threat for severe weather is continuing to diminish for our area, but as you head up into southern Quebec, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, northern Maine, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for that same storm system over the next couple of hours. We're dealing with a lot of clouds, though. That's going to change as we head through the next few hours. We'll see clearing skies during the overnight hours. The National Hurricane Center taking a look at the tropical satellite, still highlighting this area of low pressure located over New Orleans for development over the next couple of days, although because it's basically a land rider now. It was expected to be more over the Gulf shores or the Gulf water. It's not expected to turn into a tropical storm system like it was over the last couple of days. It'll mainly be just an area of low pressure producing a lot of heavy rain and some coastal flooding along the Gulf Coast. And then we'll be turning our attention over the next week and a half to this tropical wave coming off the west coast of Africa. It's expected to do so not until Tuesday, which is July 27th, or July 22nd, I should say, and then anywhere from the 25th through the 26th, it should emerge off the eastern Antilles and develop into some type of tropical storm system. So during the overnight hours, we'll see clearing skies, winds out of the northwest tomorrow thanks to high pressure and control. We'll see abundant sunshine during the day tomorrow, highs between 75 and 80, which is a little bit below average for this time of year. And as we run the clock through your Saturday, we'll see a slight increase in clouds and an increase in humidity, temperatures between 80 and 85, but we'll still stay on the dry side. That changes as we head through Sunday, and we'll be dealing with showers and storms during the morning hours, highs in the low 80s and increase in humidity. And then Monday is similar to tomorrow. Sunny skies, highs between 75 and 80, and then we'll deal with an increase in clouds, mainly mid and high level clouds Tuesday and Wednesday, with highs around 85 both days.
A lot of sunshine in our future, but of course only a couple days left in that 7-day forecast where we're in the 70s for a high temperature.
Yeah, just tomorrow and Monday, and that's it. But at least both of those days will have abundant sunshine and low humidity.
All right, thank you again, Jordan. Still to come on Eyewitness.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a brighter, cooler, and drier end to our work week. It doesn't get much better than that. So let's take a live look right now at downtown Utica. Temperature at this time, 73 degrees. And by comparison, that dew point is much lower than it was when we were looking at it at 6 p.m. It was up around 70. Now it's down around 61. So it's still a little noticeable, but definitely not as humid as it has been over the last couple of days. Winds out of the west at 18 miles an hour, seeing occasionally higher gusts, and that heat index right now is exactly the same at 73. So most of us into the lower and middle 70s from the valley on toward the south. Up toward the north, though, the Adirondacks and North Country, seeing areas down into the 60s already, and that's where many of us are going to be during the overnight hours. There could even be a couple of 50s up there during the overnight hours as well. Most of us are anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees cooler than it was at this time last night. So not only is it a lot less humid, but it also just feels cooler naturally. Temperature-wise, as I mentioned, those 2 points right now are into the 60s. We've already got some 50s, like down in Hamilton, and that's where many of us are going to be dew point-wise during the overnight hours. So we can say bye to those 70-degree dew points for now. As I mentioned, those heat index values not far from where the temperatures are right now because the dew points are much lower, and I don't think we'll be dealing with much of a heat index factor as we head into tomorrow, a little bit on Saturday when the humidity comes up. The shower and storm activity has also come to an end, but we're taking a look here at our tropical satellite because we'll be monitoring this tropical wave coming off the west coast of Africa over the next 5 to 7 days, and it looks like once it gets east to the east of the Lesser Antilles, July 25th, 26th, so another week or so from now, we could be looking at some formation from that particular system. So certainly something I'll be keeping an eye on here. Across our area closer to home, we'll have skies clearing as we head through the overnight hours, and we won't see much of any fog like we've seen over the last couple of nights. And then a westerly wind from the area of high pressure during the day tomorrow will keep things high and dry and sunny as well. Tomorrow, 75 to 80, and then we'll be back into the 50s tomorrow night. And some areas down into the Adirondacks may see temperatures into the upper 40s, which is something that we haven't seen since early June, about 6 weeks or so ago. So sunny and more comfortable tomorrow and dry, 78 for the high. It's a little bit warmer as we head through Saturday, 80 to 85, still not bad, although the humidity does come up slightly. And then on Sunday, we'll be seeing some morning showers and storms making way for afternoon sunshine with highs in the low 80s. And then Monday is similar to tomorrow with highs between 75 and 80. Once again, mainly sunny skies and low humidity. The humidity comes up for Tuesday and Wednesday with highs around 85 both days, and then we'll see some humidity as well then.
So the heat's really trickling up as we head into the next week, Jordan.
Yeah, and so is those storm chances. We've got another storm chance, it looks like, on Thursday once we get past Sunday.
Well, those conditions certainly aren't conducive to any football games that...
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a brighter, cooler, and drier end to our work week. And the good news is that it looks like it'll stay that way into the first half of the upcoming weekend as well. 71 degrees out there right now on our Bank of Utica iNet camera, and dew point is still at 60 degrees, but that's considerably lower than it was about 5-6 hours ago. We also have a west-northwesterly wind at 22 miles an hour with occasionally higher gusts than that, and the heat index value is still the same at 71. That's going to be the heat index values won't be much different than the temperatures during the day tomorrow because of those much lower humidity values and or dew point values, I should say. And temperatures right now from the valley on toward the south are mainly into the lower 70s, up into the upper 60s up north, and that's considerably cooler than it was at this time yesterday, in many cases by 5 to 10, maybe even 12 degrees in some cases. So not only is it much less humid, it's also significantly cooler as well. So as I mentioned, those dew points are slowly but surely dropping. They were in the 70s earlier this evening, and now they're down into the 60s. Hamilton and Syracuse both at 59 right now, and that's where many of us are going to be during the overnight hours. And those dew points will get into the 40s and 50s. A nice treat for mid to late July as we head through tomorrow. Those heat index values still within a couple of degrees of the temperature, and they won't be much different than the temperature during the day tomorrow. We're still dealing with some showers and even a few downpours across portions of northern Herkimer into portions of Lewis County, but that's the end of that over the next hour or two. What I am keeping an eye on here is the tropical satellite, because we've got this wave of low pressure, or I should say a tropical wave, coming off the west coast of Africa, and it's expected to do so in the next 4 or 5 days. So by Monday or Tuesday, it should be emerging off there, and then once it gets to the east of the Lesser Antilles, by the 25th, 26th of July, that's when we'll have to watch for the development of it. So obviously just something to keep an eye on for right now, but as we go through the overnight hours, we'll be keeping an eye on mainly clear skies. Temperatures temperatures dropping back into the 50s and 60s, which is something we haven't seen in quite a while. Most nights have been in the 60s and 70s, and tomorrow we'll see abundant amounts of sunshine. And as we go through the start of Saturday, we'll see increasing clouds and a slight uptick in the humidity, as well as warmer temperatures thanks to a southwesterly wind. But still, we'll take it either side of 80 degrees both tomorrow and on Saturday. The difference being not only Saturday warmer, but slightly more humid with some mid and higher level clouds. Sunday will introduce the chance for a shower or storm mainly during the morning hours, and then we'll see a blend of sun and clouds during the afternoon. And then Monday will be similar to tomorrow, 75 to 80 to start the upcoming work week with a lot of sun at this point, Thomas.
And Jordan, while we're not expecting as much rain down here around central New York, a lot of rain is expected up in the North Country later this week. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 11. The DEC is sharing new warnings